Henderson, how are you?
Not too bad, Richie. How are you?
Grand, grand, grand. Thanks for joining me. I'm
Not a
sure.
problem.
Can you hear me okay? Everything cool?
Yeah, I think I lost you for a second, but I think I can hear you now.
All right, all right. I say I appreciate you calling. I appreciate you're a busy girl, and it's late at night, but say with your busy schedule, we'll kick on. So how are you doing?
Yep, not too bad. I'm just in from training there.
With Lisburn Ladies, I'm looking forward to listening to the tales. But we'll we've sent you the structure of the interview, or call it what you will. So we'll rattle in straight away with some of the questions.
Yep.
Niall Totten, my co-host, who's absent again this week. That'll go down. I'll go against him. He has sent a few questions, so we'll get started. Just let me find them. I'm bombarded here. So he's going to throw you back to your time at St Mary's Primary School. So
St
question
Mary's
one, which
Primary
will
School,
hopefully,
right?
sorry, St
St
Teresa's.
Teresa's, even younger,
Apologies.
right?
Yes, even younger. So Niall's question. So my mum, who taught in the school, said that you love football and were so determined from a very young age. Was there a particular reason you had such a passion for football from such a young age?
Yeah, I think my dad always had me over in the park watching him play in the summer league. So he had me over from I was no age, I suppose. That really got me into football, but I was always a bit of a tomboy, so it was always going to happen anyway. But I suppose just watching my dad playing and just playing
Yeah,
with all the boys on the sideline really got me into it. Yeah,
that's it. Like many of the great footballers in Lurgan, it all started in Anhill Park.
you're right. Yeah.
So then, what was it like growing up as a girl looking to play football? And again, were there plenty of opportunities back then, or did you find there were obstacles along the way? Obviously,
um,
I had a handling. You played for me briefly, but
yes.
what was your experience? What was your experience?
As a young girl, it was hard, but I didn't really know any different. Obviously Sunnyside trained in Allhill Park. The young boys. So I just went over and got stuck in. To me, as a girl, it didn't make any difference playing with the boys because I always played with the boys. Played with the boys in school and growing up, we were always playing on the street. So it made no odds to me. I think it was only when you sort of start to get into junior high school and high school that it
Yeah,
starts to sort of become a bit of a thing. But growing up in primary school and when you're younger, first starting out, it didn't make a difference to me playing with the boys. Opportunities
it,
wise, there was no girls teams. You know yourself.
yeah, absolutely. No, you played with the boys, trained with the boys, competed with the boys. You were,
Yep.
as Kieran Headley referenced on the Facebook chat there. You were the first name in the team sheet and the last one into the changing room for obvious
Yeah.
reasons. But good,
Yeah.
good times, good
Good
times.
times.
So tell us, Julie, again for my interest as well. When you did move on from Sunnyside, talk us through your ventures.
Right. So obviously the only sort of girls training was out in Brownlow Recreation Centre in the AstroTurf. There was no league or anything like that. It was just training. And
Yeah,
then they started running school leagues. So I just went over there after 12 because at that stage the boys in Sunnyside and stuff were starting to get a wee bit too physical, and my dad and yourself, I think, were looking
yeah,
at times and places that I could go training. So I think it was you or my daddy or somebody got speaking to a girl called Anne Gurley. She sort of just took me under her wing. She was a girl from
yeah.
Belfast. And she actually ran and started Cliftonville Ladies. So I started actually playing my first competitive senior football at 14 for Cliftonville. Um,
Brilliant.
After just training and sort of just mucking about for 2 years with the girls and not really doing much from about 12 to 14 apart from the odd school game. There was no leagues
Yeah.
or nothing for us, so you were just through straight in from playing for Sunnyside boys to all of a sudden you're playing senior football 11 aside. There was no real transition,
Fantastic.
like.
Yeah. And how did that go for you then? Talk us through them years.
Yeah, so after Cliftonville, then I where did I go after Cliftonville? Yeah, I'm trying to think here. I stayed there till I was 16. During that time, I represented Northern Ireland from under 11 right up until under 17. Just again, a game here and there. Again, there was no real competitions, there was no Euros, there was no qualifications or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was just sort of friendly games. And I was also dual sport, so I was playing flat out with the Gaelic. After 16, I sort of just focused on the Gaelic for a while, Richie. I went from 16 to 18. I didn't get picked for Northern Ireland at under 17 level, and it sort of disheartened me for a while. So after that, 18 then, a couple of my mates convinced me to just get back into the football then, and I actually joined Craigavon City. So I was playing at Craigavon City for a couple of months, and then I thought, do you want to know what? The standard just was it wasn't great. So I got speaking to a fella who recruited me to go up and play at Newry City. And I had the best sort of 3 years playing football at Newry City. We worked our way right up from Division 4 to the Premier League. So 3 or 4 years at Newry. And then again, took another year out, I think, because I started my own gym and I started my own business.
Busy girl.
Yeah, so it was all flat out. And then I joined Portadown then. And I was with Portadown again for another 3 years. And I just joined Portadown, to be honest with you, Richie, just to sort of get back into enjoying playing football. There was no real competitive element to it. But then we ended up going again from Division 3 right up to the Premier League. So, you know...
You're a good girl to have on your side.
You were just straight up again. And obviously Kelton Portadown then during their first year in the Premier League. And then COVID happened then after Portadown. So 2-3 years out again. And next thing you know, I'm at Lisburn. So that's it. More clubs than Tiger Woods, as I said.
Again, born winner. Julie, so when you compare girls' ladies football back in the 90s and the early 90s when you were first playing it, and fast forward the guts of 30 years, how different is the landscape in ladies or girls' football now?
It's miles, it's head and shoulders above what it used to be. Like I said, there was no opportunities for me where I lived. Now there's if you're a young girl, there's 3-4 teams within a 10-mile radius you can go to. For me, like I said, I had to travel to Belfast when I was 14 just to get playing football, and that was for a senior team. So the opportunities that the girls have now, I wish I was their age. I wish I was starting again because I'd love to, but head and shoulders, miles ahead of what it used to be for me. Like,
no, fantastic. And I reached out to you again a few years ago when you came and done a coaching session for our girls' academy at Oxford Sunnyside.
Yeah.
And they've went from strength to strength over the past couple of years, and again drawn on inspiration from yourself, So hopefully,
I've seen that they're doing well. Yeah,
we're going well. I say I'm an advocate for the game. My own daughter is enjoying her football as well, and as you said, they have the opportunities now to kick on the league structures and whatnot. So fantastic. So, was there a particular female footballer you idolised growing up?
I loved Mia Hamm. I don't know if you've heard of her. She played for USA.
Yeah.
Mia Hamm, she was called. She was like a number 8. But she sort of played she was a centre midfielder, but she was box to box, And then towards the latter stages of her career, she was just an out and out striker, poacher. So female footballer, definitely Mia Hamm. But I loved watching the men's game, and as I said, I don't really have any. I don't support any in particular football team. I just love watching it. I know that's a real strange thing to say, but even watching the men, I always loved watching central midfielders like Zidane and Roy Keane and even Neil Lennon more locally. Like I loved all them type of players. Like just get stuck in and sort of box to box and hard workers. That type of player. Like.
Yeah. So for me, you started as a fullback playing with the boys. Where was your game kicked on?
Yeah, so I've played every position there is, Richie, over the years.
Capable.
But at the minute, I would say I'm more specialising sort of central midfielder role. Either box to box or attacking or holding, anywhere in the middle, really. But like I said, the best sort of years playing football at Newry there was out in the right wing, and I loved it. You've a wee bit more freedom out there, whereas in the midfield you've a wee bit more responsibility. So,
absolutely,
played everywhere.
All right. So I suppose, like everyone growing up, you had a dream of playing for Northern Ireland. So you've 8 Northern Ireland youth caps
Yeah.
or at youth level. Do you still harbour hopes of playing for the seniors
I don't
before you hang
harbour
up the
hopes.
boots?
Definitely not. No, the senior women's team is unbelievable. Just even the players they have, the caliber of the players they have now. Like, me growing up, obviously all the girls on the squad now, I'd say 90% of them were all in my youth team.
Yeah.
And growing up, I wouldn't have said that A, B, C, and D girl, she's definitely going to make it, but just the consistency and the hard work, and obviously just sheer luck as well, and getting
Yeah.
selected to play for teams across the water. That's played a massive role in helping them develop. So
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's it. Being exposed to the game more often, and a high standard of training and
that's it. Yeah,
coaching and all
definitely.
that sort of all plays its part.
Yeah.
No, very good. So your role now, you're currently player coach at Lisburn Ladies. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so obviously I was speaking to Hayden, the manager there at the start of the year. I had wanted to join last year, but then first training session back in 2 years, and I completely tore my quad, so I didn't go back all year. That was me. I thought I'd need to hang the
Oh
boots up,
dear.
but I said I'd give it another rattle this year, and sort of got myself prepped and ready for it. And then Hayden said to me, we're looking for somebody to come on board now as a strength conditioning coach, and of
Yeah.
course I said yes, because that's what I do day in day out. I work with young female athletes, and obviously I work with the girls in the gym, so it was a no-brainer. So my job is just basically to make sure that the girls are prepped and ready going into the season, and prevent injury, basically make sure that they're fit, they're strong, and then obviously do a wee bit of contact work with them, core work with them, and then if they have any niggles or injury, and just returning to sport and stuff after that. It's my job to sort of look at that and make sure that they're looked after. But I'm sort of transitioning now from pre-season into intra-season, so it's hard because I'm now training as a player.
Yeah.
So that making that transition from coach to player, I'm sort of, it's difficult because sometimes you just want to shout at people, but you have to hold back.
Oh, that's it. The mindset's just slightly different, isn't it? You have to think of the
That's
bigger
it.
picture.
This is it.
Can't be
Yeah.
selfless. Can't be
Yeah.
selfless. No, very good. Very good. And tell us a bit more about Lisburn Ladies. To say the ladies' game at senior level, I haven't done a whole lot of coverage on, but it's becoming more. It's out there now. It's getting more of a coverage. Tell
Yeah.
us, are
Like,
they the only existing female club? Female only club, should I say?
yes. So Lisburn is the only all-female club in the league, in the Niffle Premier League at the minute,
Yeah.
which is great. That's a testament to them. I think they first formed in 2011. So obviously they have a really good youth setup, which I think has helped them. I think one of the girls there that just got the Premier League Player of the Year, Carrie Beattie, I think she came up through their youth ranks, and she's over playing professional now with Glasgow City. So they have a really good youth setup, and I think that's the reason now why they're in the Premier League. But just the Premier League in general, the Niffle Premier League,
Yeah.
it's so professional, Richie. I can't even believe how professional it is now compared to maybe 4 or 5 years ago when we were in it with Portadown. It's even head and
Yes.
shoulders above that again, and every year it continues to grow. And even the senior internationals selling out Windsor Park there for when they were playing England. It says a
Yeah.
lot about how much the game's growing in Northern Ireland, in particular.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, like we obviously at the start of the year, got our photo shoots done and our bio and stuff. It's up on the Niffle website. We get all our games videoed. Not only that, we get obviously full analysis of every game. We get our stats. At
Yeah.
Lisburn in particular, there, for example, our coaching team consists of manager, assistant manager, technical coach, goalkeeping coach, strength and conditioning coach, physio. It's the full works. It's not just a case of
Yeah.
running laps around a pitch now and hoping that somebody shows up to take you. It's very professional. Like, our girls are competing with girls in the league there who are training full time up in
Yeah.
Belfast. They're full time professionals. So that's where we're at the minute, and that's where we're trying to compete. So hopefully, so far, I wouldn't say so good, but we got a draw there against Derry City last week.
Yeah. I've seen
So
that.
we're
Yeah.
we're holding our own. We're holding our own so far.
But that's it. And the big thing is that professional age. As I say, they've got you in there as a strength conditioning coach. You're putting some of and I don't want to make a comparison, but you're putting some of the senior clubs to shame. And what and it's strength in numbers. Like you're talking about a management team there, which is
Yeah.
reflective of the professional game. Maybe you aren't a professional club at the minute, but you've got all the attributes.
Yeah, and I mean, even talking about sponsors, like, that's a massive part of even getting us into the league. I'm sure, speaking to people
Yeah,
on this podcast and stuff before, it takes a lot of money to enter a team even into the Premier League. So we're reliant on sponsorships. Like obviously there's a brand, Urban Fitness. We have Chalco Limited. We have another guy that just sponsors us all our training gear. Like everything that we get comes from sponsorships. Like we're reliant on all of that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
it's not a case of, people handing us money or we're getting, pay
That's it.
packets
There's
every
no
week.
empty.
Like it's,
That's it. There's no empty or there's no
yeah,
big pot of gold that you can lean on to.
you're right. It's tough
It's
going,
unreal.
but we'll rely on the
It really
sponsorship.
is.
So they've done really well for us this year.
No, fantastic, fantastic. Julie, I have a couple of quick fire questions from some of the girls from my academy.
Yeah, going ahead.
I just want to rattle through them as well. As I say, they were very keen to get their questions into you,
Yeah,
uh, particularly the younger ones, believe it or not,
good,
which
good.
is great. So I want to draw inspiration from this. This is from Riley. So what is your favourite training drill?
My favourite training drill is anything that involves sprints or acceleration. So usually reaction drills, when your coach shouts go and you have to go as fast as you can. I like races, like competing. I'm very
Yeah,
competitive. So anything where there's a bit of competition involved, really. Yeah, I'm all over it. I love it. Yeah, definitely.
brilliant. We maybe covered this, but we'll give Elizabeth a shout out. So what's your
Yeah.
favourite position and what position did you start playing?
My favourite position is actually, winger. I wouldn't say that
Yeah,
central midfield is my favourite position, but it's probably the position that I'm best at. But I actually, if I had the choice, I'd love for Hayden to turn around and say, Julie, go you out wide there. Yeah, that would be class.
very good. All right, Lily's asking, why did you start playing football and why is it so important to you?
I started playing football because I just loved it. Plain and simple, there was nothing else for me to do. There was no iPhones and there was no tablets then, you either had a
Yeah,
football in your
yeah.
hand or you were sitting about twiddling your thumbs, you didn't have a choice. It was like, go out and play football or, don't do nothing. So,
You're
but
making
I
me
loved
feel
it.
old saying that, Julie.
Yeah, no, I actually feel old saying that myself because
Yeah.
all I had was a Nokia 3310 and you can only play Snake on that. But yeah, no, I just loved it. That's the plain and simple answer. So it is.
Brilliant. All right, Alva's asking, who's the toughest team you've played against?
Oh, this is a good one. I would say, I would have to say probably Glentoran, definitely. Glens, yeah. So
Yeah.
they're league champions. I think they won the treble or something last year. So definitely Glentoran. Yeah, they're a tough team to play against because they're so fast and they're so fit. So yeah, definitely.
And they're a full-time team? Glentoran?
Yes, I'd say 90% of them are full time. Yeah, and they have. I
Yeah.
think they're starting obviously for
I lost you there.
hello.
No, I lost you. Go on ahead.
Yeah, so Glentoran had started with 9 internationals against us for our
Right,
first
okay.
game of the season. Yeah, and then they were just bringing on internationals for the crack, at half time.
Yeah.
So,
Up against
yeah,
it.
that was a
That would
great
make it
first
tough.
game. Yeah,
Welcome to the league. What?
yeah, I know.
Uh,
What a welcome.
Abigail asks a question here. What's your favourite ground you've played in?
Favorite ground is probably Seaview, Crusaders stadium. It's just I love. I don't know why. I've always seemed to play a good game on it. I think they have
Yeah.
the 5G. So and it's always been sunny when I've played there as well.
Yeah.
And I always just seem to have a great game at Seaview. So I think we actually are up in Seaview in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, yeah, it's
And you
definitely
have
my
you have the
favourites.
luxury of playing in the sunshine for the summer league.
Yes.
Makes some difference.
Yeah. I know. I know.
Very good. Heidi asks, what was it like when you were younger playing with all the boys?
I didn't mind. Like I said, up until I was about probably 12. you know, and you do, as a girl, you do get picked on, you know, and I'm sure some of the
Yeah.
young girls listening can relate to that. You do get picked on, and you do get the boys, you know, looking at you and laughing at you. So it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, you know, it definitely wasn't. It was
Yeah.
definitely hard. But majority of the time I enjoyed it, and I think that's what made me such a physical player as well, was
Yeah.
actually getting stuck in with the boys, and playing with them at such a young age. So as much as you did take the bad times, um, you learned so much from it as well. So I did enjoy it.
That's it. That's it. Emily asks, she wants to know who was Julie's inspiration when she was younger.
Yeah, like I said, just even going over to watch my dad. You know, I know it's just like the summer league, but I'd say
Yeah.
he was probably the first person that I actually went and seen football and was actually cheering for. Then
Yeah.
obviously my granda as well was a big Liverpool supporter. I'm sure he'll be glad to hear.
Happy
Um,
days.
so every time you every time you walk through the door, he was just like, "How's the football?" You know, he wouldn't have asked, or if you went and looking nice, you know, he wouldn't have said, "God, you're looking well." Like he would have to me all
Yeah.
sisters. It would have been like, "How's the football, Julie?" You know, just
Yeah.
first thing that came out of his mouth. So definitely, would say my dad, my granda.
Yeah.
So
No, brilliant. Brilliant. Holly Lynch has asked, how were you scouted to play in the Irish League? And I say you kind of give us that backstory where at the age of 14 you were through into the deep end, and the
through into
rest
the
is
deep
history.
end. Yeah, so like I said, there was just a group of us that used to go over and train in Brownlow, maybe about
Yeah.
15 to 20 girls, and then, you know, Anne Gurley, as I said, she invited me to go up and play for Cliftonville, age 14. Yeah, so that was basically just how it all started for me.
Brilliant. No fear as well. That's the big thing. Just go up there
That's
and give
it.
it a go.
Give it a roll. All the Belfast girls love it.
That's it. And I say, a fish out of water, indeed. I mean, that must have been intimidating for you as well. Another obstacle to overcome.
Yeah,
You know,
especially
a
with
little
all the
Lurgan girl going
girls.
up there.
Yeah, they're, you know, all the girls were a lot older than me. They all knew each other. Obviously
Yeah.
there was a couple of us went up, you know, at the same time, but I was the youngest and also the smallest. I've definitely grew into
Yeah.
myself now. But I was actually quite small when I was younger. So yeah, it was intimidating, and even I can even remember the kits. Obviously, we didn't have women's kits then, so you just wore like the men's old kits. So they
Yeah.
used to just drown me, you know, so I just looked like a wee tiny thing, yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, Sienna, she's asking, what team do you support?
Yes, as I touched on, I don't actually have a team that I support. I know that's so strange. This year I've actually supported, and no, don't give me grief, I've actually watched, I wouldn't say supported, but I've actually watched a lot of Man United because I love Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so
Some poor watches.
yes, yeah, it's painful. It's painful, but I mean, I've actually really enjoyed watching Ronaldo this year. And then I do like watching Liverpool. I do like watching
Yeah.
Liverpool. And Marissa, my partner, she's from Portugal, so
Yes.
she actually played for Portugal as well. She's a footballer as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Fantastic.
so she supports Sporting Lisbon. So she's been making me watch all their games this year. Um, and that league is great to watch because it's so up and down. You know, there's none of this sort of defensive tactics and holding on to the
Yeah.
ball and, you know, laying down for 5 minutes trying to waste time. I find that the Portuguese league is it's far easier to watch on the eye, you know, definitely compared to
Yeah.
the English Premier League for sure. But yeah, no real
This
team.
low this low block that they talk about playing. Just everybody
Yeah.
behind the ball and playing a match not to
Obs-
win or not to lose rather than trying to play to win.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it, Richie. I definitely do. Although that's
Me
the way
too.
we were playing like that against Glentoran 3 weeks ago, but we'll say nothing.
Well, needs must and all that.
You do what you have to do.
Yeah. So Sophie's asking, what age did you start playing? And say you've touched on some of these, but
From no age. I started playing for
well,
Sunnyside when I was 9, I think. I
yes. Well, I can
trained on it.
justify that.
Yeah,
I took your team off Bunker. Bunker would have been coaching you
that's right.
on a Sunday, and then we took you in, or I took you into the league then at under nines, and you
That's right.
stayed
And
with me
on some
till
team,
under 11.
Richie, I think I
Ah,
remember like some of the players that have come out of your youth team are unreal, you
yeah,
know. Sometimes I'd be watching the Irish League going, yeah, I am saying to Marissa, yes, I played with him and I played with
yeah,
him and
played with
I,
him, played with.
yeah.
That's it. That's it. And some of them are now back playing locally, back playing for the club, back playing for the senior club. Decky
Yes, I
McVeigh, for
seen.
example.
Yeah, and I seen
Connor
Chris Lavery
McCoy
there. Yeah,
and Chris Lavery. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
And then you've Stefan and Andy Murnahan playing for
Soupy,
Armagh.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Some
But Paul
squad.
McAnallen was at the club at one stage as well, at the senior level. So
Yeah.
no, they're all a great squad, a great squad. And to your credit, back then, you were the first name in the team sheet. As I said, the will and want you had for football
Yeah.
was on par with the boys, like, you know. So credit to you.
Thank you.
Where are we at now? Here's one for Shona. Now you need to give Shona just a tip on how to caress the ball. So she's asked, do you always toe kick the ball when you're trying to score a goal?
Do I always toe kick the ball?
Toe kick.
No.
Not.
No. I would strike through the laces, or I love David Beckham, so I love an eye curler as well, side of the
Yeah.
boot. I haven't quite perfected the Ronaldo outside of the boot yet.
Not yet. There's time yet.
There's time yet, yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. There's a wee question here that you maybe, not to go dark on us, but did you ever think you couldn't do it? That's from Olivia.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Sure, that's what as I said. I didn't get picked for Northern Ireland I think it was the second year of under 17s, and it's so strange because I got selected the first year, and I didn't get selected the second year, which was really,
Yeah.
really strange, and it did put a real downer on me. And as I said, I was playing two sports during that time, so I was 16. You had the Armagh County seniors looking at me to go and play senior football, minor football, and then obviously I had Clonard, the club I played for, and
Yeah.
they were squealing looking at me, and I was always picking the soccer first, and I just
Yeah.
thought at that point, there's no point, I didn't get picked for Northern Ireland, so I took 2 years of just going and focusing on the Gaelic, and I done well at the Gaelic, to be fair. But I think my first love was always the football, But yeah, there was definitely a few years during my teenage years, and I'm raging at myself because I think if those 2 years between 16 and 18, if I would have stuck at it, where I would be now. But
Yeah.
no regrets. Everything sort of worked out and happened for a reason.
Well, that's it, exactly. Again, Orla finishes these questions here. She says, did you think when you were younger that you would be this successful?
Thanks very much, Orla, for calling me successful, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't. I used to think 30 was really old, and I'm 30 now. So I never thought that I would be playing until I'm 30 in the Premier League
Yeah.
at this level. No, I didn't. I really didn't, to be fair. And I'm so proud because I am playing with and against girls who are playing at the highest level, and they are professional. And I was speaking to Marissa even about the Northern Ireland game and watching the girls, and I said, it's so strange watching them girls on TV, and I play with them, and I've
Yeah.
played against them my whole life. And there wasn't even a sense of jealousy that, oh, I wish I was there playing, or that could have been me. It was just a real sense of pride. Never in my lifetime did I ever think that girls that I playing with would be professional. They're actually getting paid, and they're doing this full time, doing something that they
Yeah.
love. So there is a real sense of pride of where I'm at now at 30.
No, fantastic. And as a coach, and again, talking about pride, and yourself included, and Chrissy Lavery and other boys that have went on and played football at various levels, haven't had a small input in that. I look back in admiration of yous.
Yeah.
And I can say, I've coached this kid or that kid, and look how well they're doing. Not that it's on me, but they have been part of your journey and their journeys. It is an element of pride there. Like,
Yeah, but
so,
I always credit yourself and even the likes of Bunker there, because Richie,
yeah,
growing up, and to touch on one of the other girls' questions, was it hard? There was parents and there was coaches that didn't want me to play, and I'm sure you know
yeah,
that yourself. There was parents on the sideline and their wee boy was sitting on the bench and I was getting on ahead
yeah.
of him, and it wasn't always easy. There definitely was obstacles along the way, but got there in the end.
Got there in the end. You're still there. You're still there. You've still plenty to give.
Yeah,
Still plenty to give. All right. So this, we're going to kick in with the Keepie Uppie questions. Have you
right.
done your homework?
Yes, I've got my notes here in front of me.
All right. I'll read them out, and you can come back at them as you see fit.
Okay.
All right, so Keepie Uppie questions. As it says, this is players you played with, played against, or coached or managed. So on your own back. So the best team you ever played for?
Definitely, I would say Newry City. Even the calibre of talent. Most of them are actually playing the GAA, and I don't know where they all went. They're all playing Armagh,
Right.
senior county. But there's some talent. I'd say if any of them were to come back in and start playing football again, that there'd be international call-ups. And I had my best friends were
Really?
from Newry, so I'd say Newry City was probably the best team I've played for. Yeah.
No, fantastic. Is that a transfer cry from Lisburn Ladies there? No.
What do you mean,
The
a
door's
transfer
always
cry?
open. You're asking girls to come and join you.
Yes, it is. It is. The door's always open for if
Door's always
anybody
open.
from Newry fancies coming back into football, just give me a wee message.
There you go. There you
Head
go. They can
recruiter.
contact me. They can contact the podcast if they want.
Yep.
All right. So best captain.
Yes, I would say Aoife Lannon at Newry. Obviously, she played international centre midfield. She was box to box. So inspirational. I think we played a cup final where we were 3-0 down, and then at half time she just came out so positive and scored 3 goals in the second half, and then we won on penalties. So I've never met a player with such positivity and just don't never give up attitude. So definitely the best captain. Yep.
Istanbul moment. That 3-0 down, 3-3, win it in
Yeah,
penalties.
yeah, unbelievable player. And again, she's one of the ones that's playing Gaelic. So if you're listening to this, you have my number.
Exactly. Be sure to tag and share this when we're done and dusted. All right.
Absolutely.
The best goal scorer.
Amy Mackin at Newry. She's another one that played international Northern Ireland. She's a left footer up and down the wing.
Yeah.
Other teams used to be absolutely terrified of her. She's the best GAA player in all of Ireland. I think she got All Ireland Player of the Year. So again, dual sports, but could easily coming back into football and score goals galore. Sure, even at the Gaelic at the minute, I think she's scoring 5 or 6 goals a match. So
Yeah.
easily the best goal scorer that I played with. Yeah.
Brilliant. All right. Best touch.
This might be a wee bit biased, but I'm going to say Marissa Silva, a partner,
Nice.
at Portadown. Yeah, like it's just something about like Portuguese people, like whenever the ball just seems to glue to their feet. So yeah, you knew that when you passed like a ski whiff ball to Marissa that she was going to control it. At Portadown, she played fullback or winger. So I loved the old diagonal balls, and she always
Yeah.
picked them up, knew exactly where they were going. So yeah, I would say Marissa. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Is Marissa still playing?
Marissa's retired. She's 37, so
All
but
right.
I
Okay.
said to her, get back into it. She's fit enough. She's definitely fit enough because she works in the
You're a
gym with
long time
me.
retired. Yeah, I can vouch for that. You're a long time retired. If you can still do it, do it. Do it till you fall
Yeah,
down.
that's
No
it.
better
Yeah.
feeling. All right, best goalkeeper.
Do you know what? I'm gonna say Jess Poots at Lisburn. Just simply because she's a screamer. She's one of them goalkeepers that you want to be playing in front of because she will scream at you and tell you exactly where you need to be. And when the ball goes into the box and she squeals for it, you get out of her road, which I absolutely love. I always say
Yeah.
to the girls who are even playing in centre back in front of me, squeal at me, and I love people giving directions. She's a great talker and also a fantastic goalkeeper. Just multi-talented, kickouts, aerial, getting down on the ground. So definitely Jess, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. All right, best defender.
Lisburn at the minute, I'm going to say Claire Rooney. I played against Claire, I played with Claire years ago, and she was one of these ones that also fell into the category of gets better as she gets older. I've known Claire years.
Yeah.
She's actually about the same age as me, and she just seems to get better and better as the years go. So yeah, Claire Rooney, yeah.
Brilliant. All right, best defender or best midfielder.
Never played with her, but played against her the other week. Jolie Andrews. She does sort of hold in midfield role for Glentoran and Northern Ireland. And I was given the absolutely horrific job in the second half of man marketer. And I thought my lungs were actually going to fall out of my chest because she never stopped moving.
Yeah.
Unbelievable player, just again pass and go, and she must have actually got about 100 passes in 10 minutes because she was just constant. So yeah, best midfielder definitely Jolie Andrews. Yeah,
Brilliant. All right, best striker.
I'm going to say again, played against her but playing with her now at Lisburn at the minute. Carrie Taggart. Just everything you want in a sort of striker. You know, comes looking the ball, lays it off. She's strong, she's fast, she scores goals. And again, used to hate playing against her because she was one of these sort of strikers that used to drop into the midfield. So you almost felt like there was three or four in there, just
Yeah.
causing problems. So yeah, definitely Carrie Target. Yeah.
Okay. All right, best left foot.
Left foot, and played with her years ago. She's current Northern Ireland captain, Marissa Callahan, and played with her at Cliftonville back in the day, 14. I remember doing left back, and she used to be left midfield. So yeah, unbelievable. Again, a player that's got better with age. Like I'm like she's 37 at the minute, and she's captain in Northern Ireland. I'm doing centre midfield there, so best left foot for sure. You don't want to be playing against her, that's for sure.
All right,
We're
best
actually
right foot.
playing against her on Wednesday. Flip me. We've actually got Cliftonville on Wednesday night.
On Wednesday night. At home or away?
Yeah, home at home.
Please.
Yeah,
At
looking
home.
forward to it. Yeah, best right
Very
foot.
good.
Best right foot. I would say Trudy Harbinson. And again, Trudy, if you're listening to this, I'm not sure if you're playing at the minute, but you have my number. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, Trudy was actually one of the other ones. Richie, I don't know if you remember years ago that actually played for
Yeah.
Lurgan Town with the boys as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so she was. I even remember she took all their free kicks and their corners. And Trudy was one of the ones that used to play out in Brownlow with me, and then went to Cliftonville with me. So, yeah, I know her years. Yeah, but definitely the
Brilliant,
best right
brilliant.
foot I've seen in a female footballer for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, very good, very good. I said Trudy's name bounces around often. So we're talking
yeah,
at Oxford Sunnyside and trying to engage with girls and get the senior thing happening. But as I say, needs must. All right,
you
best
never
manager.
know. Best manager, I'm going to say for the years at Portadown, Dave Marsden. I think he's actually doing a bit of goalkeeping coaching for the men's at Portadown now at the minute.
Right, very good.
But he guided us through 3 seasons of Portadown, and I think I just liked his managerial style because he was able to actually relate to the girls and sort of, you know, he was a
Yeah.
talker. He wasn't a screamer. He sort of reminds me a bit of Jose Mourinho a bit. Very
Yes.
calm and sort of tactical, and you would have seen him the odd time running up and down the line, but you were able to go with him even if you had any problems, and he listened. I've also got in there yourself, Richie, because of obviously the opportunities you give me, at Sunnyside, and you were a manager that you weren't afraid of the parents standing on the sideline, and you did give me a chance, and only for that chance, who knows where it'd be, and again,
Well,
actively seeking out, was there any girls' teams there for me, and, was there any
yeah.
opportunities where could I go and play? So definitely credit where it's due for yourself, for sure.
Oh, you're very kind, but all I done was put the best footballers on the pitch. That's all I could do. Just give everybody a chance. That was it.
That's
And
it.
by God did you take yours. So credit to you.
Yeah.
All right, which player loves a hard challenge?
I couldn't decide between these two, so I've picked two for this. The first one is Amy McAllister. She actually is playing at Craigavon City. She's actually going with Nash.
Yes,
Is
I've
he?
seen that. I spoke to Colin before. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So Amy is absolutely loves a hard challenge. Like I've played with her, I've played against her, and I don't know how many red cards she's got. And then the second person then is Megan Weatherhall. She plays for Linfield at the minute. She's another girl from Lurgan, so it's actually strange that this
right.
is two Lurgan girls that have picked as the hard challenge. Yeah, so she's at Linfield at the minute. I remember playing against her when she was playing for Cliftonville, and there was a bounce ball coming in. And I wasn't backing out, and neither was she. Like, so we both missed the ball, head butted each other, and I ended up in A&E with concussion. But
Oh
yeah,
dear.
that's the story.
Well, you remember that one for a long time.
I know, I know.
Very good. All right, quickest player.
Cara Hamilton at Glentoran. She's another international player, but to look at her, you wouldn't even say she's fast, but when she gets on the ball, she's absolute lightning. I know she does a bit of CrossFit and stuff, and she's just the overall athlete, but so fast on the ball and off the ball.
It's interesting you say that about the, additional training and CrossFit training. I think it's invaluable
Yeah,
now,
it's
to be
it's
able to
hard
compete.
to it's hard to sort of to get it across. I think, especially to women. I think, and again, I am a girl, so completely understand. And this is nothing against women's football or in general, but I just think
Yeah,
the men buy into it, the strength and conditioning side, a lot faster than the girls do. I think the men know that if they don't do this stuff, and they know the benefits of it, whereas all this stuff is only really getting introduced for the girls, and they're sort of,
yeah,
they find it hard to, well, why are you making me do squats with these weights? Like, how does that cross over to when I'm on a pitch? How does that make me faster? And it does, the science is there that it does make you faster, but you have to just trust me and trust the process that it does come across. There's me 30, I was out for 3 years. If I didn't have that background in strength, if I didn't strength train 3 times a week or do my conditioning, like, there's no way I'd be playing this year. Absolutely no way, because pitch sessions alone wouldn't do it for me. Like, I need that
no,
extra training to get me up to speed with all the young girls, and especially the girls I'm playing against with in the league, for sure. So again, for any girls out there listening to the podcast, put the work in, do the extras, do the gym work. I know it's tedious, and I know you just want a ball at your feet. I'm a footballer, I'm the same. I want to play football, but definitely the gym work is invaluable down the line and throughout your career, for sure.
oh, brilliant. I say I 100% agree with you and endorse that. As I say, it stands by it. And even me as a coach, it was a relatively new process to me. When I was a player, strength and conditioning was never spoke of. It was only as I got older and it became
Yeah.
a thing. And it's only now I'm sort of regretful that we didn't buy into it earlier, or approached it with that professional approach that you're an advocate of.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so best all around player.
I'm going to say Rachel McConnell. She plays for Linfield at the minute, but me and Rachel played middle of the park at Portadown. And only for having her in the middle of the park, I don't think we would have been as successful, because, I scored a lot of goals at Portadown, but Rachel's probably set me up for 90% of them. And again, just a worker. Whenever I come about track and back, she was always there. So again, just box to box assists, crosses, track. Just a hard overall worker. So yeah, Rachel McConnell, yeah, for sure.
Oh, brilliant. Again, be sure to tag these girls and get my
Yeah,
get my audience up. So
no problem.
player that got better with age.
I played against this girl from I was 14, and I don't know how she's still doing it. Kelly Bailey. Don't know if you've heard of her. She plays for Glentoran, but she would have played for Belfast United. That was what
Mm-hmm.
Glentoran was called before, the amalgamated or
Yeah.
whatever. But she's 37 now, and she's playing for the best team in the league with a team of girls that are all internationals and all probably about 10, 15 years younger than her. Like, so
Yeah.
she's phenomenal. Like, she's just for 37, she's such a great player. So yeah.
And again, age is only a number if you're doing the hard work in the background, as you say. You
Yeah,
keep your body
for
right. You can go on
sure.
for a long time.
You're right.
All right.
Like,
So player who,
37.
yeah, player who always gave 100%. Last question for the Keepie Uppies.
Um, this was really, really, really hard. It really, really was. But I'm gonna say at the minute, at Lisburn, I'm gonna say Christine Clues, because she plays in the middle of the park with me and a couple other girls. At the minute, and again, very similar to Rachel McConnell that I was speaking about there, and that just always works hard off the ball. She's actually our captain.
Right.
And such a great captain, and that, she's so positive. If you make a mistake, straight back in it, and, don't put your head down. Has a really good way about her with all the girls, and yeah, always, always, always gives 100%, whether that's training, whether that's messing about. I've never seen her really having a bad day so far.
Yeah. No. Brilliant. Brilliant. All right, Julie, I'm going to go with the dreaded wheel of Burba. We tried to explain to you just exactly what that was. It's not. It's nothing
Yeah.
to fear. It's nothing to fear. Let me see if I can get my
Okay.
sound effects.
Yeah.
So it's just a question that'll sort of open conversation. So there you go. Bear with me now. I'll get the question ready.
Okay, go
So
for
the
it.
wheel of Burba has been spun, and it's asking. Recently, top female tennis players argued that there should have been a pay party when their male counterparts. Do you think the same conversation should be had with female footballers now that ladies football is on the rise?
Oh, this is so interesting, Richie. You really put me on the spot with this one. Okay, I'm going to give you my honest personal view.
Go for it.
At the minute, I think that we're not quite there yet, especially in this country. I think in England and maybe Scotland, for sure in America, where it's been so professional for years there. Definitely. As I said, we're pulling in the crowds now. We're pulling in the
Yeah,
sponsors. We are making the money. You know, young girls are going out there and they're not getting Ronaldo on the back of their shirt anymore. They're getting female players. So there's definitely endorsements there as well. So from a business perspective, you need to be thinking, okay, are the girls going to pull in as much money as the men at the minute right now? No, but there will come a time where they do, and it's that time isn't far down the line. And I'd say the girls in England are already there. I think Newcastle United women's team pulled in 70,000 fans the other
wow.
week there. Yeah, and the women, like the Euros are going to be in England this year, and I think all the games, the Northern Ireland games, all the England games are sold out. You know, so there's money being made, but my big question is, where's it going? You know,
Yeah,
it's certainly not going in the girls' pockets, like that's for sure. And you know, even the girls that I talk about here at the minute who are professional, you know, and they are training full time, they've still got jobs on the side. You know, they
yeah,
still have to make more money. They still have families. They still have to put food on the table. So yes, they are professional, but it's still nowhere near where it needs to be. I don't think it's quite there yet, but I don't think it's far away. So I would say that down the line for sure, but just not right now.
no, brilliant. I love the honesty, and you know better than anybody. You're in the inside, seeing how it goes.
Yeah.
So, last question from Tats. So he says, or where he's asking the question, how important is team sports like football important to young girls growing up?
Oh, it's massive, especially now. I think it's more important now than I think it ever was. Just again with social media. Like I have a 14-year-old sister, so I can relate to this. You know,
Yeah,
they're constantly on their phones. Team sports actually forces you to actually put your phone down for a wee second and actually talk to the person beside you rather than talking to them through a screen. And not only is that valuable, obviously, you know, as a young person, but even growing up to have those sort of social skills and those life skills. Like I couldn't even imagine, you know, sorry, Cara, if you're listening, maybe sister, I couldn't imagine our Cara even being able to answer the phone, you know, because she's not socially awkward. And
yeah,
I think that's the way we girls are now. You know, the near die if you actually stop them in the street and try to have a conversation with them, because I don't think they have the social skills for it. So I think if you're a young girl and you play a sport, you're not just developing your sport, you're not just getting fitter and having a laugh with your mates, you're actually learning skills that you're going to take with you through life. And them skills are invaluable. And I sound really old saying this, I really, really do, but just even for your own mental health in your head as well. You know, like I've been there, we've all been there, where we've had a bit of a crap day and you go out and you go training with your friends, you go to a football match, you sit in the back of the car, you sing songs with your friends. It's the best years of your life. It really, really is. And it really saved me many a nights when, you know, I felt like there was nobody to turn to or nowhere to go. I felt alone, like football and team sports just dragged me out of a hole. So for sure, it's massive. It's massive. I can't say it enough. You know, it's huge. It's huge.
no, I couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely. And again, it's about. I'm like even as a coach, you're not just coaching football. You know, you're coaching. You're creating life skills, and you know the kids are going to come away better people. Not everybody's going to be a
Definitely.
footballer at the end of the journey, but you're going to be you're going to have life skills. You're going to have a discipline. You're going to have respect. There's so much more that can come out of the game rather than it's not just about scoring goals.
Yeah,
And
and obviously,
I apply myself like that.
yeah, like we touched even on the whole like professional element of it too. There's opportunities now as well for girls, especially, and obviously the boys, but there's more opportunities now for girls than there ever was. If your goal is to be, I remember in P7, my teacher saying, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "A professional footballer." But that is actually achievable now. That's doable if you wanna go and do that. There's opportunities there for you to go and make a life and make a career out of it.
Absolutely, and the skills that you've endorsed, the skills that you've picked them up. I mean, if you want to give yourself a pat on the back, or give us a lowdown on your own gym and your own job that you do.
Yeah, so I actually own a private studio gym just outside Portadown called Next Level Fitness. And again, as you said, my love for the gym. I started going to the gym because I thought I need to be doing extra for my football. And that's how I started going to the gym, and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the training. I knew that it was making me fitter and stronger. And at 16, I just said, I'm going to make a go of this. I'm going to start training people, and went and got my qualifications, and sort of the rest is history. It hasn't always been easy, and it's never easy when you're self-employed, especially over the last couple of years with COVID and all. But it's a career that I've had that's spawned through obviously sport and football. It's definitely one of them careers. What I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't have football in the first place.
No, brilliant. Say you're endorsing a lifestyle, and you're a credit. You're a credit to yourself and inspiration. And I'm hoping that the people that do tune into the podcast and listen and hear about the backstory and what you've done. For what you're still a very young woman, and you've a whole lot still to achieve. And as I said, I can look back and say you know, engaged with you at a young age, and to see you go so far is great. Absolutely
No, thank
fantastic.
you. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, as I say, I appreciate your time coming on and chatting to me. As I say, only time I reach out to you, I'm asking for something. I'm always looking something, and,
You're grand.
you've obliged. You've obliged every time.
No, it's like I said, yeah. Anything to sort of get and promote the women's game. I'll happily do it. And like you said, the last time you reached out for me, to coach the girls, I loved it. I love just even seeing the girls and how happy we're there, and it gives me such a sense of pride as well to even be asked. So,
Yeah,
anything that sort of gets the word out there and gets a wee bit of promotion for the girls, and I suppose even the young girls, even listening in, they're going, "Oh my God, it's a girl who plays football talking on a football podcast." It's sort of unheard
absolutely.
of. Like,
As I
it's
say,
great.
inspirational, and the platforms there for other girls to kick on, and you've proved that it's there. You can go and
Definitely,
do it
yep.
with enough hard work. And again, that's talking about coaching. Our own academy coaches have already asked me to ask you if you're available any time to come down and give the girls another session.
Yeah, no, anytime we'll get it arranged for sure. I'll be happy to come down and speak to them, and obviously do a wee session with them for sure. Jump in and maybe train with them.
Absolutely, brilliant. Listen, Julie, I appreciate it's nearly 11 o'clock at night, and you've had a long day. Thank you for
Yeah.
jumping on. As I say, I'll maybe broadcast this tomorrow at some stage, and like, share, tell all your friends, and we'll keep endorsing the ladies' game. And best of luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully, I'll get out and watch a game. I was planning to go last Sunday, and too many beers consumed and didn't allow it.
Well, here, I'll let you know when the best game is to come and watch. Maybe not Cliftonville this Wednesday night, but
No,
I'll let you know.
no. Honestly, I will. I'll rally the girls up and bring the academy girls down and cheer
Oh,
you
that'll
on.
be
So it's
great.
good.
That would be
It's
great.
good that they can go out and see ladies football.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, like seeing the young girls there at the home games is class. So yeah,
Yeah,
that would be great. That would be a good wee night out for them for sure. Yeah, definitely.
absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
listen, Julie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As I say, this will be put out tomorrow, and we'll like, share, celebrate. Get yourself to bed.
Good
Thank you
stuff.
very much.
Yes.
All right. I'll
All
chat to you
right.
again
Thank
soon.
you.
All right. Good
Cheers.
luck.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.